Hi, I'm Cristina Smith, creator of the award-winning best-selling Yoga for the Brain series of super fun puzzle books that include inspiring wisdoms. We are celebrating the release of Inspired Wisdom Word Search Yoga for the Brain, which includes 60, count 'em, 60 contributing authors. And we're doing interviews with some of the authors. Today, we have author number 23, Barbara Eldridge, to talk about her puzzle, Live Strong. Welcome, Barbara. Please tell us a
Thank
little bit
you.
about yourself.
Well, I think I've been in business for about 29 years. I run mastermind groups. It's called Mind Masters. And I put small business owners together on a weekly basis so that they have focus and accountability, so that they accomplish their goals and add to staying strong and living strong.
Well, that's great. And tell me, do you have a family? Where do you live?
Well, I live in San Diego. I moved here from New York City umpteen years ago. Um, I married a man. In fact, we celebrated our 40th wedding anniversary at the end of December.
Woohoo!
And
Congratulations!
thank you, thank you. With that, with him, I inherited 5 daughters, and coming with that over the years, I have 7 grandchildren and 3 great grandchildren at this point.
Wow, do any of them live close by?
The oldest daughter, her husband, her son, and grandchildren live in Arizona, but all the rest live here.
Oh,
Everybody
wow.
else is here, so we're surrounded by them.
Well, your life must be so full of love and laughter. I'm so happy for you.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, they've added a lot to my life. At first it was challenging, but it's grown into something very special.
Well, that's wonderful. Lucky you. Yay.
Thank you.
I want to talk a little bit about your puzzle, Live Strong, because you really give us some interesting perspective on for business as well as just in our personal beings as well. You talk about, well, let me just read the first sentence. Do you realize that you have barely scratched the surface of your potential? Could you kind of dive into that a little bit?
I represented a company years ago that did personal development things. And one of the things that we talked about was that people barely use more than about 10% of their potential.
Wow.
And it really takes working at it. And that is where, for me, the goal setting and the focus comes in, because it really does take you choosing what you want to do and then saying, am I willing to take the risk? I had one of my people say that this morning. She goes, I had to realize I got to take a risk to take that next step. And it's all a part of that. So yes, in order to grow, it really does take recognizing where we want to go in order to take those bigger steps.
Well, it really, I mean, you're talking about strength here and living strong. So it really, according to your puzzle here, it really takes strength too. Can I just read? I want to read this last sentence because I think we can talk about that next. When we emanate from our strengths, we become even more incredible, positive, loving, and productive people. Can you talk about that a bit?
Well, you know as well as I do. Let's just take leadership. If you have a leadership strength and you work from that, people recognize you, they trust you more. There's something that comes from that really helps you stand out and gets you to increase the use of your potential. And so it's important that having focus on different things, whether it be personal or business, it really does take stepping out into recognizing what that strength is that's going to help you move. It isn't always easy for people. It makes people have to say, well, what do you mean? Am I not okay? And most of the time it's that they haven't lifted themselves up enough to recognize what else they can bring to the table to really live a life of their dreams, live a life that is exciting to them.
Do you think it's hard for people to see their own strengths?
Absolutely. Absolutely. We just don't, I find that a lot of people, just in terms of what they do, don't recognize their accomplishments. They recognize what they haven't gotten done. And so, that's one of the things that I really help them work towards. Recognize that, use that as a foundation. And once you start looking at that, you realize how much stronger you've gotten as you've moved along. Going back and keeping a list of your achievements and accomplishments helps you have that focus of, wow, if I did that, I'm getting stronger at being able to do whatever it is that accomplishment has helped show you. I know it did for me years ago, and in terms of wanting to start my own business. So it took. I was a shy, introverted child, so I really had to focus on strengths to move out into the world and stand up in front of people and speak.
Wow, and look at you now. You're running a business with you've helped probably hundreds, if not thousands of people. And I have to speak to acknowledging your accomplishments. It's something that I do. And I write down all of my accomplishments every time I have one and put it in a safe place. And at the end of the year, I look at them. And I'm just not talking about business accomplishments. And I'm not talking about big stuff. I'm talking about stuff that's important to me, whether it's really personal, internal, something that I really have wanted to do for myself. And acknowledging that is really important. So I would like to just talk to you about a little bit about this. I mean, I've kind of noticed that the difference between focusing on our strengths and focusing on what we haven't done is kind of like if you're just focusing on what you haven't done, life becomes kind of futile and depressing because there's no joy in it. If you focus on your strengths, even if it's putting away the dishes every night before you go to bed for a week straight, or making your bed every day for a month, then you start to charge yourself up in a new way that gives you more momentum to move forward to create further dreams. What do you think?
Well, the way I picture it if you were to build a building, you would have to put the cinder blocks in. You cannot grow, you cannot build higher until you fill in the mortar. And those small steps is the mortar that helps you do that. When you go back over those achievements, I wouldn't even wait until the end of the year.
Oh, okay.
I would look at them, on a regular basis and highlight the ones that give you a sense, that emotional sense of feeling good about yourself, because that's what you want to build on. Those are the things that support how you're going to focus on that next big step that you want to take. You've got to have that enthusiasm and emotion behind it. So it really is important. And without that, as I said before, people get stuck and they don't have anything to work from. So having those accomplishments in front of them, they have something, just to be able to sit back and say, wow, if I've done that, I know I can do this.
Well, and the accomplishment could be doing a puzzle. I mean, if that's what you decide you want to have your puzzle is, I've done puzzle number 22, Live Strong, and that's an accomplishment for the day. It doesn't have to be big, and it doesn't have to be business. Though you focus on business, whether or not you're retired or in business or in school or whatever phase of life you're in, this technique is very, very helpful. Speaking of puzzles, Barbara, what kind of puzzles do you like to do?
Well, I've never been much of a puzzle person, and it's interesting because I've had the other couple of your other books, and for me, I love the words. I love being able to use the words. The numbers don't do much, but even sometimes things that pop up on Facebook, people say, "Can you find the C in that?" And you're sitting there, and I love to do that. So the word search book has really helped me from that standpoint. I get a little frustrated at times, but it's good. It's very good focus for me. That's to be able to relax and have that, so that I'm not thinking about all the other things that have to get done that I didn't get done. It really helps move in that direction.
Well, and it helps you. I like the way you say that, because you shift your focus from the path that you're going down, perhaps your work or whatever your main focus is. Usually it helps you shift and create a little white space in your mental world and in your energy field so that you can actually be refreshed and have new ideas.
Absolutely. And then it's, well, how many can I get done?
Exactly.
Add to my achievement list.
Well, that's awesome, Barbara. Thank you so much for sharing your philosophy and your success and helping elders and helping all of our readers to live strong and to focus on their strengths.
Thank you, Christina. You've done a great job. We really appreciate it. And I have my book, and we're off and running.
Woohoo! Thanks, Barbara.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye now.